Don Quixote is a classic novel by Miguel de Cervantes, published in two parts in 1605 and 1615. It tells the story of a middle-aged man named Alonso Quijano, who becomes obsessed with chivalrous books and decides to become a knight-errant. He renames himself Don Quixote, his horse Rocinante, and his lady-love Dulcinea del Toboso. He recruits a simple farmer named Sancho Panza as his squire, and together they roam the countryside in search of adventure. However, Don Quixote's imagination often distorts reality, leading him to mistake windmills for giants, flocks of sheep for armies, and inns for castles. He also gets into trouble with various people who mock, trick, or attack him for his foolishness. Along the way, he meets many characters who tell their own stories, such as the captive captain, the curate, the barber, the duke and duchess, and the scholar Sanson Carrasco. Don Quixote's exploits are widely known through the publication of the first part of his story, which he claims is a distorted version written by a Moorish author named Cide Hamete Benengeli. In the second part, he encounters people who have read his book and try to test his madness or amuse themselves at his expense. He also meets a woman who claims to be Dulcinea enchanted, and a knight who challenges him to a duel. Eventually, Don Quixote is defeated by the Knight of the White Moon, who is actually Sanson Carrasco in disguise. He agrees to give up his knightly career and return home. There, he falls ill and recovers his sanity. He renounces his chivalrous fantasies and dies peacefully, surrounded by his friends and family. End of the summary. Here are some interesting facts about Don Quixote. Don Quixote is considered the first modern novel and one of the most influential works of Western literature. It has been translated into more than 140 languages and has inspired many writers, artists, and filmmakers. Cervantes came up with the idea for Don Quixote while he was in jail for tax fraud. He also wrote part of the novel while he was held captive by pirates in Algiers for 5 years. Cervantes named the main character after his wife's uncle, Alonso de Quesada y Salazar, who was also a hidalgo, a minor noble, from La Mancha. The name Quixote comes from the word for thigh armor, which was worn by knights. A fake sequel to Don Quixote was published in 1614 by an anonymous author who used the pseudonym Alonso Fernández de Avellaneda. Cervantes was furious and mocked the impostor in his own second part, which he published in 1615. Don Quixote is famous for his fight with windmills, which he mistakes for giants. This scene has become a symbol of tilting at windmills, meaning to fight imaginary enemies or feudal causes. Thanks for watching.